What's up guys, Noah here with Custom RC Mods. Welcome back to the channel. In tonight's video, I've got part 2 of my FT Spitfire review. This one of course is the flying portion, and I've got the plane right down there. We're about to run a pack through it, and I'm going to give you guys my full review from a flyer's perspective. If you haven't already, I definitely recommend watching part 1 before returning to this video. That's where I talk about the electronics and the setup of this plane, as well as just a full review from a builder's perspective in that video, and critique the design as a whole. So go ahead and watch that if you want more information, especially more of the fine details of this plane in general. Today we're going to be talking about flying only. Now, as you can see here, I do have my stick cam, so if you want to see how my stick movements correspond to the plane reacting in the air, go ahead and pay attention to the lower left corner of your screen where you will see the stick cam, and you can hopefully benefit from that as well. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and pop this plane in the air and get flying. Alright, so I've got my 2200 milliamp hour 3-cell battery in there. Everything's powered on. Control surfaces are looking good. My CG check has been completed. I'm going to launch it by grabbing the top of the fuselage here and throwing it underhand, kind of like that. I got my throttle cut off. And we are up and flying. So I'm going to break this flying section into 3 parts. First, I'm just going to do general flying, and I'll show you just how it flies. Here in normal circumstances, when you're just out here flying in a relaxing manner, then I will go ahead and talk about it from a beginner's perspective. If it's an easy plane to fly as a beginner, as someone new to this hobby. And then I'll be talking about it from a advanced and more aerobatic perspective. Is it something that you're going to want to do stunts, high speed, things like that? That'll be covered in the 3rd segment. And then of course I'll be wrapping it up at the end of this flight. I'm just going to preface that I do have about an 8-minute timer set for this plane, and that's about right, especially for this motor and prop setup. However, you can play with the electronics all you want, so depending on your setup, it might fly longer or shorter, but 8 minutes is a good ballpark for this airplane, especially when you're flying rather conservatively. So first things first, just general flying. This is a pretty smooth airplane. Now, tonight there's a small breeze, and it's going to be coming from the right to left across your screen here, so it's coming from my right. And this plane handles it well. It handles wind decently. It's flyable, but it's not smooth or anything. As soon as the wind picks up, it definitely takes a hit, but again, it's still flyable. It's not completely impossible to keep this thing in the air under high wind circumstances. You can kind of see it getting a little jostled around, especially when going into the wind, but it still, again, maintains its composure here in the air. I've just been cruising around quarter throttle, if you have been paying attention, and mainly doing bank and yank stuff. Now, this plane does fly pretty well bank and yank, meaning that you simply use aileron and elevator controls and basically don't use any rudder. However, I think that if you mix in your rudder and you begin to do coordinated turns, this thing really flies nice in scale, which is exactly how you want it. So I really think that this is going to be a good plane, especially if you're a beginner and you're looking to start with coordinated turning. It has a nice size rudder that is big enough that you're going to feel the effects of the rudder when you use the rudder stick. The FT Scout, the FT Spitfire, and a lot of their other bank and yank friendly planes often don't even have a big enough rudder to use. So having something like this that's going to teach you the importance of using your rudder is something that can be a great benefit. Now I'm going to go ahead and pick up the speed a little bit. And you can see this thing carries its speed well. I can kind of fly it like a warbird. It's not overly fast. That wasn't up putting past 2, so I mean, I'd probably say it's about 40 miles per hour. It's nothing crazy, that's for sure, but again, I only have a small motor. I mean, if you really want to go for speed, you can get a 35-36 motor in there. You can get something crazy, 12-inch prop, and, you know, go ham. But for this PowerPack C spec setup, I mean, it's pretty fast. It's going to have full vertical, pretty much everything you want. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that all around. It has all the power you're going to need as a beginner. I definitely would recommend using the PowerPack C. It is going to be the most productive power pack for the power setup and the style of flying you're going to be doing with this airplane. So I would say that's the best motor. A PowerPack B might be able to fly this thing. However, unfortunately, I just don't think it's going to be enough for all the types of flying you're going to do with this plane throughout its lifespan. So I'd recommend building with the PowerPack C. Now, from a beginner standpoint, I'll go ahead and talk about this for a minute. Like I said, it is a pretty smooth flying airplane. I don't think it's your first airplane though. I would say go with something like the FT Scout or the FT Simple Cub. This one is going to be a great second airplane. It's going to again teach you coordinated turning and a little more advanced warbird, maybe scale flying and speed. It's going to teach you it's going to help you progress as a pilot, I just want to say. It definitely has nice big control surfaces, especially compared to other planes like the FT Mustang, so getting your rate profile set up for as a beginner could be a little difficult because you're actually going to need a lot less throw than you might think. So as a beginner, if you're just building this completely blind, you've never done anything in the hobby before, this one might offer you some challenges. However, I do want to say that the CG is pretty tolerant all around, so you're not going to have too many issues getting that set up. Some planes, like I originally had some issues with the FT Mustang, that would, I flew it too tail heavy, it would crash very easily, flew it too nose heavy, and I wouldn't have enough elevator control to keep it up in the air. But as a beginner, I think you're going to have a really good experience with this plane if it's your second one. And I mean, if you have a buddy box, I think it could be a good first plane as well. But I'd recommend to keep it as your second plane all around. So from an advanced perspective, I'm not totally sure what to think about this. It does have a nice amount of speed, and it's a very relaxing plane to fly. However, there's not a bunch of advanced, friendly tendencies this plane has. I mean, you can rocket it around the sky like I'm doing right here and do fast passes and whatever suits your fancy. But one thing I would say this plane lacks is overall real scale and precision aerobatics. Sometimes when you're doing these turns, it gets in a little bit of wing waggle, which just doesn't, you have to kind of have to fly through it. And as a beginner, you probably really don't care, but as an advanced pilot, it's just pretty hard to, fly scale through that. And you really have to focus on your setup. So as an advanced pilot, it's a fun plane. It's good for evenings like these that are relaxing and you're just trying to have a good time with a consistently good flying plane. But in terms of aerobatics, I think there's many better airplanes. Even the FT Mustang, I think, would be a little bit better for aerobatics, not because it has bigger control surfaces, but because it just is a little more stable in the air and is a little more consistent. But again, this one's not bad. I mean, you can really make this thing do whatever you want. But again, I mean, if you're looking for something that can do loops, I mean, the elevator has a small issue on here where it has very thin and weak center section. So you can see that's just a straight elevator roll, or just pull back on the elevator. That's a straight elevator loop. So no turning, and you can see it kind of goes all over the place because it has some sort of like tailor-on effect, which is not good. I'll do it again for you. You can see that one side of the elevator where the servo is going up more than the other, and that's pulling it up into a weird, roll thing. So I don't really think it's the best for scale aerobatics or precision ones. I mean, it doesn't really like to roll either. That's why I haven't done one, because the amount of, I mean, it just does not look scale at all. I mean, it can do it, but again, it's just not comfortable. So I would say the FT Mustang would be a better choice for overall scale, performance, and aerobatics. But again, this thing has a speed, and in a straight line, this thing looks really cool as it comes to pass. But again, not really too many high marks in the aerobatics category. But again, flying it just in a relaxing evening like this, even for an advanced pilot like me, is very enjoyable. So there's not too much to complain about in that regard. But as an advanced pilot, you may be seeking something else that has a little more versatility, and this one probably isn't that plane for you. Now, in terms of my rate setup, this has pretty touchy control surfaces. They are large for what they are, compared to like the FT Mustang, like I'm continuously comparing this thing to, and even the P40 or the MiG-3. This one has really large control surfaces, so you don't need a lot of throw at all. And if you guys go back and watch my build and initial thoughts video I did on this, I had way too much elevator travel dialed in, and it was almost fluttering through the sky like a dolphin, because simply I couldn't keep the elevator straight. So I have barely any elevator throw on this airplane right now, and it flies good, but as soon as you have too much, it's really hard to fly. So keep that in mind. You will need a considerable amount of aileron throw to go ahead and negate the dihedral on this plane, but it's not a big deal. I think, again, it still flies really well, especially if you mix in some rudder. So you don't need crazy rates on this thing to get the roll rate up to where you want it. You can see we got these like flat drifts that you can do because again it has good rudder throw. You can kind of sky drift around, and that's fun. I really like the rudder performance. It's one of the most consistent that I've found across the flight test planes. Especially the Mustang just has such a small rudder that pretty much isn't worth even using at all. You could easily build a Mustang without the rudder, but this one, I think the rudder adds a lot of character to how this plane flies. So yeah, other than that, setup-wise, it's pretty simple. Again, CG is tolerant, so you won't have too many issues if you can just get it in the ballpark. I believe the CG is right on the spar, so you won't have too many issues getting that set up. And if it's a little nose heavy or tail heavy, it does still fly, so you won't have too many issues. Once again, if you're a newbie and you're getting your CG set up, but you don't have all the knowledge or know-how to get everything all set up. So yeah, overall, really like how the plane flies. I'm gonna go ahead and land it, and we will conclude this video. So the slow performance of this, especially when off the power, isn't that great. It tends to tip stall a little bit, but you can see I'm just gonna go ahead and bring it in and set her down just like that. Nice little plop. Alright guys, so that's going to wrap it up for my full review of the FT Spitfire. It's an easy plane to build and pretty easy to fly as well, so if you're a beginner, you like the Spitfire design, I would say go ahead and go for it. You will have no regrets, and again, even if it doesn't work out for you, you're only out some foam, you can go ahead, move the electronics over to something else, so I definitely recommend this plane all around. If you guys have any more questions about this plane or RC in general, please go ahead and let me know down in the comments section below. I'd be happy to go ahead and help you out the best I can. And of course, if you guys want links to the past videos I've done with the FT Spitfire and part 1 of this review, as well as all the electronics and build notes I have for this airplane, make sure to go ahead and check out the video description. Thanks for watching guys. It would really mean it if you subscribe to the channel to show your support, like the video, and turn on that notification bell if you want to be notified every time I upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.